Welcome to Financial Focus, brought to you by GulfCoast Financial Services founder and CEO, John Kuykendall. John and his team of financial, legal, and tax professionals have been providing North Florida savers and investors sound, comprehensive financial guidance for over 30 years, helping you to achieve important life and planning goals. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and tune in for more Financial Focus by visiting GulfCoastFinancial.net.
And welcome into Financial Focus, brought to you by the best of the best in financial services, as named by the readers of the Lake City Reporter. 8 years and running, with more than 30 years serving North Central Florida savers and investors with proactive planning, guidance, and advice. CEO and founder of GulfCoast Financial Services, John Kuykendall, here with us as always, helping you to stay financially focused. And John, a big topic of focus is Social Security, kind of the cornerstone of retirement planning for the American public, and not without a lot of questions, concerns, and really options to sort through that we have to make sense of to try to make the best decision for us.
Well, that's right, Peter. You know, a lot of people don't realize the importance of filing Social Security at the right time. Social Security, as you said, is one of the mainstays of our retirement now. So ever since we did away with the defined benefit plans back prior to 1987 and came out with the 401k plans, very few people have a pension. So that predictable, sustainable income that we talk about on this show all the time has been cut drastically because of the lack of pensions. Now people are more responsible for their own retirement, their own savings, and Social Security. Unfortunately, people don't realize how important it is. I think there's a lack of education overall, Peter, on Social Security and what it can do for you.
Absolutely. And John, because of all of the different choices and options that we have with Social Security and the lack of education or guidance when we actually go to make that decision, claim and begin collecting our Social Security, we really need to do some advanced education on what our strategy is going to be.
Well, you know, the Social Security Administration is not there to advise you on what is right for you and when you should file and how you can file and the different options. They're there to take your request. And if you've waited until you're 65 or 62 and you've decided, well, I'm going to draw Social Security without pre-planning and without doing some forethought to it, you'll make the wrong decision. I know in my case, Peter, I filed at 66, which was my full retirement age. I thought, hey, that's great, you know, because I can work as much as I want to and still draw Social Security. Unfortunately, I didn't realize the tax angle that Social Security could be taxed. And I didn't understand that if I had waited 4 more years, I was going to get 8% per year compounded, which would have given me a much bigger check for a lot longer period of time than what I was getting. But like I said, nobody tells you this. Nobody gives you the advice. We have the software now to tell you what your maximum benefit age is, when you should file. But also, Peter, it's important to know there are loopholes. There are things that we can get penalized if we file too early or if we make the wrong decision.
Well, so we've got our timing when we choose to claim and collect benefits. We've got the taxation of potential benefits. We've got the potential penalties that we may incur. And then we've got the other additional income implications and what that will do to our Social Security, as well as the question of fundamental Social Security solvency. So, John, let's tackle the timing of benefits. How do we know when is going to be an optimal time or make any kind of informed decision on when and how we should actually claim and collect those benefits?
Well, as you know, we can file as early as age 62, but there's a 27% haircut that's going to be taken from our benefit if we file then. There are also penalties if we make too much money. So we can end up giving back to the government part of our Social Security if our regular earnings are too much. A lot of people have this mentality that at 62, I'm going to file and get it while I can still get it. And it's mine. They're not going to take it away from me. But like I said, there are severe penalties if you earn too much. So while you're drawing it at 62, you'll be ended up giving back to the government a large portion of it. Timing of Social Security really is, when am I going to retire? What am I trying to do? Do I need the money? Or is there a way for me to wait until age 70 and get the higher number? But then there's also a break-even number. So we look at, if the break-even number is 10 years and you from age 70 and 80, and you felt like you weren't going to live that long because of longevity, then we maybe take it early. But there's all kinds of ramifications. As you know, several years ago, we changed the majority of the loopholes, but there still are some ways to get Social Security without affecting your Social Security. Do you know that if your spouse, we didn't understand the importance of Social Security and how much it was going to mean to our retirements? Do you realize that some people are living entirely on Social Security, which, that's like $1,800 a month, not a big check. And 40%, and the Social Security makes up about 40% of most people's income during retirement. So it behooves us to get the best amount of money that we can get the most, and also take the best option that's best for us.
Never intended to be the entirety of our income picture in retirement. In fact, as I believe it was intended and designed, simply an anti-poverty measure to keep us just above the poverty level of income. And so it is a very useful, essential, and valuable tool, but not what most people can survive on to maintain the standard of living that they have been used to during their working career.
No, that's right. It's not there for our retirement. It's not there. When it was started in 1935 with the Social Security Act, you're right. It was mainly a way to help people coming out of the Civil War to stay above poverty. And, it still is pretty much, it helps us stay above poverty, but it's not the entire basis of your retirement. I mean, when we draw is really important, and how we draw is really important. And we don't want to leave money on the table, Peter. We want to make sure that we get the best deal for ourselves, because that income is going to be, like I said, one of the few pensions, the monthly check you're going to get as long as you live. And then when you die, the check's going to go back to the government.
So a school of thought, John, that says run out, get it while the getting's good, the building is on fire, claim it at 62. And then another school of thought that says wait all the way until 70 to get the highest potential benefit possible. I think that there is some credence and validity to both of those lines of thinking, but neither one probably universally true and applicable. We really have to examine our own situation.
Well, that's right, Peter. Everybody's situation is different. And that's why when we do our financially focused income plan, we take into consideration the spouses, the couple's total income, and where we're going to need. It may be that we don't want to file Social Security right away. It may mean that we need to go ahead and file it because we've got enough money to live on with that. And so everybody's situation is different. There's no one way to do it. There's just a lot of people are leaving money on the table because they don't understand how to file. And as you know, if you're divorced and you were married to your spouse for 10 years, either one of you can file for Social Security on the other one, and it won't affect the other person's Social Security. There's also survivor benefits. There's disability benefits. All these things were set into place so that we would be able to make a lot of decisions. But in the past, we haven't had the education. It's there now. And it's something that we can't take for granted. We can't procrastinate on this. We have to move forward, and we have to really, like I said, we need to sit down and really analyze it in its entirety. I read this morning that there's like a $16,728 bonus that you could have if you worked longer and if you delayed your retirement until your Social Security until age 70. That's a lot of money when we're looking at an $1,800 check or a $3,000 check, and that check's going to be there for as long as you live. And the other thing too we have to take into consideration is the effect on the spouse, Peter, because when one spouse dies, we lose one Social Security. The lower Social Security check goes away and we keep the bigger one. So in a lot of cases, it gives us a little bit more safety for the surviving spouse if we have that larger check.
As little as a 1/3 reduction in the Social Security income coming into the household, as much as a 1/2 reduction in Social Security income coming into the household. And John, a double whammy, because we go from married filing jointly to single head of household, potentially bumping us into higher tax brackets and rates.
That's right. And also because of that, it takes us down where more of our Social Security could actually be taxed because we're in a lower tax bracket, but based upon earnings, we could end up having more of it taxed. It's a catch-22 for a lot of people. And I don't think a lot of people understand the total ramifications. And it's something, Peter, that all of us have the ability to sit down, bring in your Social Security statement. The Social Security Administration doesn't mail those statements anymore. You have to go online and get them. But with those statements, we can run it through the software and we can show you what the best time, the maximum time for you to file. We can also run through our tax software and show you how much of your Social Security is going to be taxed and also how much you'd have to give back if you filed early based upon your earnings.
Not something that you want to discover at 82 or 85, something that you want to be informed about at 62 or 65 as you are making these decisions, being proactive with the education and the information so you can make a well thought through and informed decision. And as part of that financially focused retirement income plan, John Kuykendall and the team at GulfCoast Financial Services will run the Social Security report and analysis for you, helping you to discover the optimal strategies for you to claim and collect and make the most out of Social Security. John, bottom line, the more we can get out of Social Security, the less strain, stress, and reliance that we will place on our own personal assets, savings, and retirement accounts. And the difference in a poorly timed strategy versus a well thought through claiming and collecting strategy can be significant, several hundreds of thousands of dollars over the average life expectancy.
That's right. And at age 62, we really need to start looking at this and taking a look and running it so that we know where our sweet spot is and come up with a plan. Retirement isn't, as I always say, getting old isn't easy, and retirement isn't easy. With inflation the way it is, and with all the cost of living and the cost of goods going up, we need more and more income. And we don't want to be a situation where we're on a fixed income and all we've got coming in is Social Security because we have used up our growth bucket trying to supplement our income. So that Social Security bucket is very important to us, something that we should sit down and look at, run the numbers, get educated on it, find out what is the best spot for you. Because like I said before, Peter, Social Security Administration is not there to give you advice. They're there to take your order. And that's what they will do. I mean, they're nice and friendly and they're certainly helpful, but they cannot make the decision for you. 9 times out of 10, they will give you the wrong advice.
Well, if you would like to get Well, if you would like to get that education, advice, and guidance, give the team from Gulf Coast Financial Services a call. 386-755-9018. That's 386-755-9018. 386-755-9018 for your financial focused written retirement income plan, including the Social Security report and analysis. One final factor here, John, the silver lining to this gray inflation cloud that we have been under, a record increase for Social Security recipients moving into next year.
8.7%, Peter, is what the cost of living increase is going to be. And actually, we're going to get it because our Medicare Part B is going down. So it is a true increase. But still, it's not keeping up with the overall cost of groceries and everything else. It's not there, like I said, to supplement all of your income. It's a great way to go. And I'm going to be really appreciative of that 8.7% of my check. But, I always wish it was a little more.
Well, again, if you would like your complimentary Social Security report and analysis, part of the written financially focused income plan, give John Kuykendall and Gulf Coast Financial Services a call. 386-755-9018, 386-755-9018. John, as always, appreciate the time, the insight, and perspective.
Thank you, Peter. I hope we were helpful.
Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and tune in for more financial focus by visiting GulfCoastFinancial.net. The information presented on this program is provided for informational purposes only, without warranty of accuracy, completeness, or suitability for a particular purpose. This program is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. This information is general in nature and not specific enough to be construed as advice. You should not make any decision based on the information presented on this program without independent consultation with an appropriately licensed professional or competent advisor. Investment in securities or the market involves a potential risk for loss of principal. Trading, therefore, may not be suitable for all listeners. Annuity guarantees are based solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing company. Withdrawals of growth from annuities may be taxable as ordinary income in the year it is taken. Individuals should review contracts for specific details of the product's features and costs. Early withdrawals may subject the owner to penalties, fees, or taxes. John Kuykendall is registered with and securities are offered through Kovac Securities, Inc., member FINRA SIPC, found online at www.kovacsecurities.com. Advisory services are offered through Gulf Coast Financial Services, Inc., a registered investment advisor in Florida. Gulf Coast Financial Services, Inc. is not affiliated with Kovac Securities, Inc. or Kovac Advisors, Inc. Past performance is not indicative of future results. All investing involves risk. Investment decisions should be based on your own goals, time horizon, and tolerance for risk. Due to various factors, including changing market conditions and/or applicable laws, the content may no longer be reflective of current opinions or positions.